2023 Auburn University Marching Band. For your halftime entertainment, we celebrate the 43-year reign of the Speed Metal Kings, Metallica. With 9 Grammy Awards and 14 nominations, 38 concert tours worldwide, and 11 studio albums that span 4 decades, the Titans of Thrash remain the standard by which all other metal is measured. We begin with a 1984 classic from their second album, For Whom the Bell Tolls, followed by the 1992 tour anthem, Wherever I May Roam. And then, let's turn down the house and light up the stage for the Auburn University Marching Band and their show, Metallica.
Wednesday night has arrived once again, and yes, that means it's time for another live edition of Auburn Family Night. This is the show where you, the Auburn family, take center stage. We're going to talk about the topics, the comments, the questions, and your calls, all that's related around everything orange and blue. Let's get into those different things right now. Warrior, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of E2C Network Live, where we get together, we sit down, and we talk about the Auburn experience and share it with you here. The Auburn experience to us is about a few things: Auburn sports, Auburn culture, Auburn family stuff. An easier way to say it might be, though, if it's orange and blue, it is what we do. So thank you so much for joining us in what we're going to be doing this evening on Auburn Family Night. We do this show every week, barring unforeseen circumstances, for you, the Auburn family, to have your say. Talk about the things that you wanted to talk about. Anything orange and blue related, sports or otherwise, is fair, pretty much fair game here on this evening. So as you're coming into the stream, if it's live, we appreciate you spending that time with us. We also appreciate those of you that come into the replay portion of this as well. If you come in here, please do make sure you smash the like button if we feel like we've earned that, the share button on the different social media platforms we're appearing on, as well as a big help. And be sure to follow, subscribe wherever you are so you don't miss other content like this here from us at E2C Network. So with Auburn Family Night, I like to set the table for you for things that we could be discussing, but once again, you all are going to take center stage. But before we do that, let me acknowledge, or as I haven't even brought it up on screen yet, you can see me wearing the gear, but I should have already brought this up. I'm out of practice or something like that. I don't know what's going on here. Auburn Family Night is brought to you by our friends at Barner Supply Co. or barnersupply.com. You see me wearing one of their hats. There's their main logo down in the corner, or in that corner, I should say. And then they've also released a brand new logo as well, the old classic barn one. Visit them at barnersupply.com. And speaking of which, we've got a brand new $5 off code that I believe is still good for any hats that have that Barner logo down there, the one in the corner down here, or their new one at checkout. Use code E2C if you want to help get yourself some great Auburn gear, but support another great Auburn business in the meantime. We appreciate them sponsoring and helping produce Auburn Family Night here at E2C Network every Wednesday night for the last several nights. Well, several weeks, I should say, on top of that. Sorry, I'm kind of finding all my little buttons and stuff. Anyway, all right. So as you just saw me bring onto the screen for you, we have the call-in link available for you now. You may begin to get in line and take and access that if you'd like to do so. You don't have to wait. You can just get in line, and we'll bring you in as soon as we can. We find a moment to do so. But it is your night, so you take advantage of it in any way that you would like to tonight. We got a lot of people checking in with us already. Thank you so much for being here tonight, and we appreciate that so much. So a couple of things to get us started tonight. Obviously, as their title suggests, it is time for Super Regional Fun on the Plains. Super Regional Fun. It is a good time to be an Auburn Tiger. It's a good time to be an Auburn baseball Tiger. I cannot believe we are finally sitting here with Auburn hosting a super regional. It feels like a long time coming. This feels like something that was eventually going to get there under Butch Thompson. And I'm so happy that we get to experience it as Auburn family. And for all of those of you going to Auburn this weekend, it's going to be, I think, a just banner day for the Auburn family. Hopefully the weather cooperates, but either way, I know everything is everyone's going to show up and show out. And I am really excited for what we're going to get to experience with the Super Regional this weekend. There's that on the table. There's been a bunch of Hall of Fame talk this week, too, which is really interesting. Tim Hudson was just announced that he would be in September inducted to the Oakland Athletics Hall of Fame. We now have 3 Tigers officially eligible for the College Football Hall of Fame in January, I believe, when that's selected. So Cam was just put on there. Tommy Tuberville, Takeo Spikes. So that's some interesting things that have been happening this week. Really, that's the biggest news stories right now. Track and field has put people out to the national championships in a couple of weeks, about 14 individuals. So maybe in good position to make some noise in the national stage. They almost won a national championship for the men last year. So we'll see how that shakes out. But we're winding down here, folks, with the athletic calendar year. So there's not as much of that new stuff to talk about in the sports space, but that doesn't mean there's not plenty of talking to do about in the all things orange and blue space. So we've already got people in Alabama, Georgia checking in. Let us know where you're checking in. We want to know who's all here hanging out with us tonight. Let's take some questions to get started off here. Sam says new hat. No, not new hat. If you had been, Sam, weren't you here last week for the one I wore? I think I wore this one. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so Barner Supply Co. supports us and Auburn Family Night. So we obviously would like to show off their gear, some of the things that you can purchase. If you go to our link that's in our description, I guess I could have put that at the top there, and I thought I did, but it's in the description. It's in the description also on Facebook as well. If you go through that link, we're an affiliate of theirs. It helps support them and support us at the same time. And like I said, $5 off some of the hats, one with logos down there and the new classic barn look that they have as well. Dalton says, Kyle, does that Outlive shirt runs a little small? Mine came in and it's pretty snug. I will say, and I don't know if you're saying that because it does look small on me. I truly think that's just my body type. It's not the loosest of the Outlive shirts that I've ever had. I mean, I just wanted to show my good looks off to everybody, I guess. Okay. I don't know. That was really weird. I really like it. It's maybe a little bit, I don't know. Maybe it is a little snug in some areas that aren't on. Never mind. How about this? It probably could be a little looser, but I also think I've worn this a bunch and run it through the washer and the dryer several times. So it's probably had some chances to shrink up a little bit. Kenny, what's good? Good to see you this weekend, my friend. Kenny, I'm planning to be in Auburn. I do not have tickets though. So I was not granted media credentials this go round ever, but I also was not able to get in line to get the tickets, but by the time that they were sold out for the general admission, and then I can't spend the money on some of the more expensive tickets to go there. So right now I'm in the good graces of people that may or may not have some extra tickets. They may either want to give / let me purchase for a reasonable price, but I plan to be there watching from the deck. Let's see here. Going from the Final Four to this is pretty awesome. So Neil's talking about going from Final Four in men's basketball to NCAA tournament, essentially Sweet 16, right? Is pretty awesome deal. And it looks like Auburn is well positioned to continue going even further in this tournament. Now, I am not in any way advocating or saying that Auburn is just going to roll over Coastal Carolina. In no way am I saying that. But I do think what I saw this weekend, I think if you had to pinpoint maybe a part of the baseball team that would be the quote unquote weaker side, and I say that with heavy quotes, would have been the pitching. And I thought they were outstanding this week. I'm not saying every part of it and everybody's performance was 100% outstanding. It's just the nature of the game. Some people have great nights, some people don't. But overall, I was really happy with what I saw at the pitching this weekend. So if that continues, that's a good sign for Auburn baseball this weekend. Neil says Tim Hudson had stellar numbers in the MLB, not Hall of Fame. Sad to say. I haven't really looked at Tim's numbers overall, and from what I remember with the Braves, they were solid, but they weren't like outstanding. But his definitely his years with the big three for Oakland Barry Zito, Mark Mulder, and him. Everybody remembers that if you're a baseball fan. That was just a really, really good time in baseball as well. There was a lot of core groups of pitching and hitters on different teams, and some of those names that we've all grown up with. But Tim is finally getting some recognition, at least from the Oakland Athletics. Bo, went to the Kansas City Royals Hall of Fame just recently, too. That seems like a travesty in of itself as well. Corey asked a big, important question. Do you know the schedule for the Super Regional yet? Yes, 100%. They announced it yesterday. So game 1 will be at 8 p.m. Central Time on Friday. That is the plan. Weather could affect that, but it looks like that's what we're going with. On Saturday, 2 p.m. Central Time is game 2. So it will be a warm one. And I would imagine weather not changing things. You might want to put some sunscreen on if you're going to be out there. So can't get everything we want, but we at least got one night game. Now, if it requires a game 3, meaning for Auburn or Coastal Carolina to win it in 3, then Sunday it is TBD at this point. So that is your basic schedule of thing. I would just be very tuned into social media this week. I just get the sense that there's going to be some other things around this weekend that maybe get announced. I don't know, like special pop-up shops or things. I have no information on this whatsoever. I'm just speculating. So I would just highly encourage everybody to stay tuned, because this is a historic day, weekend, essentially, for Auburn. And I really think some special things are going to happen on the field, but off the field as well, because they're going to take full advantage of a great marketing opportunity. Dalton says, I wasn't picking on you. Mine's actually too small. Just wanted to know if it was everyone's problem or just loosen the grip on the Little Debbies. Oh, man. Yeah, I probably need to loosen my grip on the Little Debbies as well, because there's a little round off here that thankfully y'all can't see that I'm working to get rid of. It's not the Little Debbies. It's the Mountain Dew and actual chocolate cake. Like, my birthday just happened, so I've got sweets galore. So I got to do some more work in that stretch. But hey, no shame in some Little Debbie game, my friend. I'm all about the Little Debbie game. Let's see here. Sam says Coastal won it a couple years ago, didn't they? I believe that is true, but I think it was more than a couple, Sam. Neil, I think, gave you the information right there, 2016. So there you go. You at least were in the ballpark of recency, if you count that as that. Coastal Carolina has been a great baseball program for a while now, and it's not something that Auburn fans, even if you're not a person that stays up with baseball, should be taking lightly in any stretch of the imagination, because they are going to come in full force. They are going to bring a lot of fans. They're going to be rowdy, all that kind of stuff. And it's going to be a fun weekend. That's all I got to say on that. A couple more things here, and we'll get to our first caller. Let's see. There's a possibility we'll see Noah floating down the road this weekend. Yeah, I haven't looked at the updated forecast, but when I looked at it a couple days ago, it looked like especially Saturday and Sunday were the strongest chances for rain. So hopefully we can get that game in on Friday and not set ourselves on a course that is going to be hard to correct. Because I'd hate to have to delay it by a day and then, delay it again. They got to get these things in so we can go out to Omaha. Kim says, happy birthday. Well, thank you. My birthday was actually last week. So, but I still appreciate the happy birthday wishes on here with the orange and blue hearts and everything there too. Neil says, Kyle Hudson had a very good stretch in Atlanta in the mid 2000s. He had a 2.83 ERA in 2010. He had 2 below 3 ERAs in Oakland. Yeah, I knew he had a decent showing, and I remember watching him in Atlanta. I just couldn't remember off the top of my head the stats, so thanks for sharing that. But listen, whether it's Oakland, whether it's Atlanta, his time at Auburn, Tim's one of the best to do it, and I hope he continues to get the recognition. Thankfully, Oakland has Auburn's already done it, but Oakland is thankfully giving him the recognition that he deserves. Corey thinks that Coastal is like Vandy, sucks at everything else except baseball. Listen, That's fine if you want to think about it that way. I'm still going to give them their due here, and whether it's just one sport or multiple sports, they are coming to town and ready to fight hard for this regional. All right, let's get our first caller in this night. You guys go ahead and get in line, take an option or wherever it is over here in the chat. I think in the top of the chat on YouTube, there is a link. You can click it, be on camera, off camera. It's your choice to do so. But let's go ahead and say hello to Mr. Kevin. What's going on?
Hey, happy birthday too.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the belated birthday wishes. I appreciate that.
Hey, I think we will sweep them 3-0.
Well, we only need 2. So if we sweep them, it'll only be 2 games. So
2 games?
Yeah, so it's best 2 out of 3. So if you win 2 of them in a row, there's no need to play the third.
Hey, what time we play Friday night?
8:00 on Friday night, Alabama time, Central time.
I'll be in Georgia.
You'll be in Georgia? Well, that's the opposite place of Auburn. So what you doing? Are you not coming to the baseball game?
No, I could not get no tickets.
Well, I feel you.
And my friends in my church, we're going to Georgia build a church.
Well, I think you're probably doing something better than all of us are doing this weekend.
And I hope I can watch it on my phone. It's on ESPN too.
Yep. So you've got an option to watch it at least to keep up with what's going on. So 8 p.m. Central time. So if you're going to be in Georgia, 9 Eastern, and then 2 Central, 3 Eastern the second day. So just keep that up there. You got Sam here showing some love for your jersey, always repping the jersey. Everybody loves it. So good to see. He also loves to rep that cowboy hat for Jarquez as well.
Yeah, Jarquez.
All right. What else is on your mind tonight, buddy?
Hey, guess who was visiting Auburn this past weekend?
I don't know. I don't know these things, so you're going to have to inform me.
London Duckworth.
London Duckworth. I've recognized the name, but you know me. I just don't spend a lot of time worrying about people who aren't committed yet.
Because I asked Jeffrey Lee on Sunday night, I said, did London Duckworth visit Auburn? He said, yeah.
Well, I know a lot of people had their official visits this past weekend. I can tell you that because when we were at those night games for Auburn and the regional play, the stadium lights were going off a bunch. So we know that they were clearly, they don't just run them and use power for no reason. So I'm sure that they were showing off the light show for the recruits in Jordan-Hare. So yeah, I think they probably had a good time, and we'll see if anything comes from it.
I'm hoping we have a good football season.
Me too, man. Me too. I think it's about time, don't you?
Yeah, it's about time to show everybody and take names.
Show everybody and take names. I like it. We'll just make a banner. It says, from Kevin, show everybody and take names.
And my favorite Auburn player this year will be either Jackson Arnold or Cam Coleman.
Jackson Arnold or Cam Coleman. Nobody on defense, though?
Yeah, Kendrick Falk.
Keldrick Falk, yes. That's a good one to pick.
And DeMarcus Riddick.
That's another good one. I think Keldrick's probably going to be, at least on the defense, your de facto leader of the team there.
Do we have somebody named Jordan Crawford?
We do have a Jordan Crawford on the team, yes. Offensive lineman, yes. Or defensive lineman, maybe, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. They all run together with me sometimes because it's so many of them to keep track of.
And I think, how many home runs does Ike Irish have now?
Oh, man, I don't know. Well, I don't know how many he has, but I know that the 19 sounds about right for Ike Irish. But I'm telling you, even if I don't know the number off the top of my head, I do know this. The one that he hit last Saturday or Sunday was it's still in the air. It still hasn't come down yet. It's probably going to make it all the way to my house at this point. He's an incredible athlete.
He might hit another one over the fence.
Oh, I'm sure he will. Let's be honest. He's at least got 2 more games guaranteed to play. Not guaranteed anything after that, but hopefully many more. So I would say between now and then, we're highly likely to see another Ike Irish home run.
Yeah.
So Neil says about your hat, he says that Stetson hat needs an AU logo. So if you remember Stetson, they're called the Hatters. That's the team that Auburn played Saturday.
Yeah.
So they're the cowboy hat theme. So he's saying that you kind of looking like a Stetson fan right now. So that's why you need an AU
No,
logo.
that's the Quiz Hunter fan.
Okay, you need to put a little bit like of an AU on it, is all he's saying. So I think that's what you need to think about doing.
I might do that later on.
You could like bedazzle it too, you know, make it all bejeweled and stuff like that. Make it
Yeah.
real shiny and real sparkly and really stick out on the show.
And I think Cam Coleman might have like maybe 17 touchdowns.
Maybe. We'll see. I'm just ready. If he gets one a game, I'll be super happy about that because that means we're doing well enough with him too.
And
So if he gets 12 in the games he's guaranteed, that'll be good.
And I hope Perry Thompson and all them step up too.
And certainly one player can't do it on the offense or just the wide receiver room. And we need everybody to step up together. And there's a lot of people there that maybe can do it. All right. So you gave me your prediction on wins sweeps. You said sweeps.
Yeah.
How about this? Let's just say they play 2 games. Only 2 games, Auburn wins in 2. How many home runs does Ike Irish hit?
3 or 4.
3 or 4. Wow.
No,
well, that is
6.
Oh, we just went. I thought he was being a step out with the 3 or 4 in 2 games for home runs, but he said nope, 6. So we're getting 3 a game. I love that.
Yeah.
I'll take it to the bank, and we'll see if your prediction holds true next week, buddy. So
it's always good to you next week.
It's always good to hear from you, man. Thanks for calling
War
in.
Eagle, bye.
War Eagle. All right, that was Kevin, one of our regular callers. We appreciate him calling in. You guys can too. Don't be shy. Links up in the profile the top of the chat up there if you want to take advantage of that. Let me again remind you of our friends at Barner Supply, barnersupply.com. Check them out. Our links are in our profiles and our descriptions, all that stuff. And we're an affiliate theirs. If you support them by purchasing something, support a great Auburn company, but you also support us as well and celebrate that Barner heritage. Don't let the Bama fans make it out to be something bad. It's something good. And you can use our code E2C Network, $5 off. Hats, not this particular hat, but with that logo down in the corner and the other logo that they've just revealed, the classic barn look. Let's see. We had some talk about Mr. Ike Irish in the chat. Sam said, what year is Mr. Ike Irish? I believe he is officially a junior, which means he can leave to go in the draft. Well, actually, I think he could have done that before then, but Ike Irish, I believe, I've asked some people that I feel very confident in their opinions about things, and I don't know that we'll see him after this year. I think he is capitalizing very nicely on his year and what will be a successful draft for him. He says Irish got the SEC Player of the Week. Prediction for Irish for 2. I think he's going to hit 1. I don't know if I can say 2 just yet because just 2 in 2 games is really impressive and hard to do. Maybe he does it in 1 game, though. When Ike hits 6 home runs, you got to come back to this. It would be a great thing to call back to and point out and just be like, hey, Kevin called his shots. If he called it, Kevin will be like the caller of the year. WT, what's going on, man? Thanks for hopping in here with us and joining the fun today. All right, keep your comments and questions going. Phone lines open. I got to remember it's this way, Kyle, on the camera. Check it out. Hit the link. Call in if you'd like to. Corey says, will we bench our best players for these games and just see how it flows? Didn't know if coaches want to save the best for a much bigger game or not. And do they have an MVP for college baseball? I would assume yes, that they have an MVP for college baseball. I'm not informed enough to tell you what the name of that is. I just now started learning the one for golf, the Ben Hogan Award. Wait a minute. Is it the Buster Posey? Is that it? Somebody look it up in the chat. I know somebody's got to know it. Now, Corey, if I'm understanding the beginning part of your comment, it sounds like you are implying that Auburn can take it easy with Coastal Carolina. And I hope that's not what you're saying here, because I don't think that's what we should be doing here. Because let me read it again. He says, will we bench our best pitchers for these games and just see how it flows? Didn't know if coaches want to save the best for a much bigger game or not. Maybe you meant, and maybe he's typing that now, maybe you meant don't start with the best and in these games and just see if we need to bring them in towards the end of the games or later in the series. I don't know if it was here on Auburn Family Night or a different time. Yeah. I think I finally got to what you meant, Corey. That's the problem with typing things out. Sometimes it's hard to understand nuance of that. But anyway, I think I'm where you meant this to go. Last week, either here, TikTok, somewhere else, we had a conversation around should the pitching rotation change. And I think maybe in a regional double elimination situation, you might have a case there. But this is just a traditional series, essentially, right? Except that if you win 2 in a row, you're done. I think that you just keep things the way that it has been. I think you throw out there maybe Cam Tilley if they feel like he's got his stuff working, and have Carson Myers ready to go to back him up like he did this past week for game 1. Sam Dutton has been a really strong, I think, game 2 for us. And then Alvarez did a really strong job, and sometimes it's Chatterton. So I feel like Auburn's got a really, really good case, thing that works right now. So I don't really see the need to change it. Maybe if we were still in a double elimination things, you might think about changing some things. But me outside looking in, I just don't know if I would change it that much. I don't know. If you agree with that, let me know. It's kind of my thinking about it. Devin checking in from the kitchen. Longtime inside joke here at E2C Network. Good to see you, Devin. And if everybody wants to know what we eating, Devin, come on, let us know what's for dinner tonight. WT, really appreciated the uniform show with Clint, the uniform boy. His passion and knowledge for the subject are unparalleled. Yes, it's kind of scary. No, we enjoyed talking to him and having him on. He always knows that he has an open floor, open mic when he wants it, and we'll work him in whenever he wants to be here. And we've got some shows coming up with him later this month, and a certain important date, the kickoff July, tentatively. He's going to have a very busy day that day, but he's going to work hard to be there on the show, and we'll see if we can get him. But we'll definitely have him in one more time this month to do the crazy uniforms thing with him. Devin says, nah, we got to throw our ace the first game. Momentum is super important. I don't even think you throw your ace, because I think everybody would say right now our ace is Sam Dutton. And I don't think anybody would really disagree with that at this point. I save him for game 2 because here's why. You're going to have serviceable guys in the first game, and obviously guys like Carson Myers did this past week to back them up if something were to go wrong with them. But if you're in a situation in game 2 in either side to lock the series down and just finish it strong, or to save yourself, you want to have your ace, in my opinion, in game 2. That's why I like what they're doing with that. I'm not saying that throwing your ace out there just to get off to a great start is not a bad strategy, but what happens if it doesn't work out? Then you've used your ace already. And then some people would say, but then if you use them that day and you get into a game 3, you can reuse them again in theory. I hear you. I kind of like this strategy of saving them for game 2, which would be the most important game that's guaranteed to you. That's how I look at it. Let's see here. We got, this is the things that you get on Auburn Family Night. Steak and eggs is what she's making. Nothing better than that. It's pretty dang delicious. My husband grills the steak and I cook the eggs. Works perfectly. It sounds like domestic bliss. Only on Auburn Family Night do you get discussions about what is someone making in the kitchen and making us all hungry. So thank you for that, Devin. Thank you. Well, anyway. All right. So phone lines are available for you if you'd like to take advantage of that and give my voice a rest and let one of you guys share. Don't be shy. Jump on into the phone line, click the link at the top, and we'll be getting into all the different things that you all want to discuss. this week, or from this week, or what's on right now. So we'll go off of what you guys are saying in the chat that's Auburn related specifically. Let me bring something to you while y'all are thinking about that. Just a thought here today. So this week it was announced that Cam Newton would be first time, or he's eligible for the first time for the College Football Hall of Fame. My question to you all is with that, and just hold your horses before you say the answer or your answer to this, but you would, knowing that you have Takeo Spikes and Tommy Tuberville also there, who do you think will and who do you think should get the call first? Now, let me go ahead and say this to the room right here. Leave your politics aside. If you can't separate that, we're not going to be able to have a strong conversation here. Leave that aside. This is about what they accomplished in college. I would say, to me, Cam does have a strong case to be a first ballot. I think he does. However, I wonder if it won't take a couple of years. So then the question becomes, is it Tommy or is it Takeo? And I think it's got to go to Takeo. I think Tommy had a great stint in college football in general and at Auburn, but I think, his biggest accomplishments would be a couple of shared SEC championships and divisional championships, and then the 2004 undefeated season. I don't know where that ranks with who else is going to be on the ballot. I think Takeo is one of those standout guys in the SEC that really deserves the attention. So to me, if I had an order of who I think should get picked first, I would say it would be Takeo, Cam, then Tommy, if Tommy is going to get picked. I think most people are going to say Cam, though. So, yeah. So this is for the College Football Hall of Fame is what we're talking about here. Neil says Cam should easily get in first. Dude won a Heisman and a championship. And I think those are the two biggest talking points around who should go first. And certainly those are very important things there. What I'll tell you is that if somebody like a Robert Griffin III gets in before him, then we got to really have a conversation about things because it's very similar. Heisman, not national championship, but there are some, like Mark Ingram, I think is also on the ballot now. I mean, you could understand if he got on it before Cam because he did it before Cam. But I think Cam has a strong case for it. I just don't know who else is on the ballot. All right, Kim looks like she did some things. The Buster Posey Award honors the top catcher in D1 NCAA baseball. I don't believe there's a special name for the MVP of the Men's College World Series. Well, we'll find out soon enough, hopefully with Auburn attached to it, right? Thank you for doing some research on that, Kim. I appreciate it. Let's see here. What Griffin? What the? I don't know what that's all about. So anyway, Cam is on the ballot for the first time. We'll see if he gets picked up. January, I believe, is when it's going to be. Who else do you think? Is there anybody after Cam that deserves to be in consideration for this coming years? I mean, is there? I mean, Gus made it to the national championship game, but didn't win it. Won had SEC championship, but feels a little bit similar to Tommy in that sense. I think Nick has got a really cool story. I don't know that it rises to the level of College Football Hall of Fame status, or I'd say it probably doesn't. I'm struggling. Bo Nix. So it would be an Auburn and Oregon thing, and who would they attach him to? That's going to be the difficult thing. Probably give it to Oregon, or Auburn would be listed in the blurb that they do about him. It's not a bad pick, Neil. I mean, I think if he had won the Heisman, which he was the front runner at one point for in his final year, that would have solidified him as a Hall of Famer. If he had made it to a national title, I think that might help as well. He's got a very overall strong college career, I think. Not saying it's perfect, not saying it was great all the time, But I think the full story of it is a great college career and story. So maybe Bo would be the best case from, I don't know, because we know it ain't going to be Harsin. It ain't going to be Hugh yet because he's still coaching. But I think your probably best bets are maybe Bo. Like he said, you could see. How many people do they take? I don't know if it's a set number every year, Sam, but I feel like it's somewhere in like the 5 or 6 or something like that. Have I ever been to the College Football Hall of Fame? Yes, several times. Not lately, though, so I don't know if there's new things, but if you've not been, Sam, maybe you have. Highly recommend going. I think it's really cool. It's the museum side of it is not as large as you think it would be, but I think sometimes, like when people go to museums, zoos, especially with my background, people rush through things too much and don't take the time to kind of stop and read a few things and kind of just soak it in. I would highly recommend you do that there, especially just if you've not been, when you walk into the College Football Hall of Fame and they have the giant wall of helmets, just go analyze that for a little bit. That's a really cool thing. And go find Auburn. And there's some good Auburn connections at the College Football Hall of Fame in Atlanta if you have got time to go down there. All right, WT looks like he's done even more research for us this evening. The College World Series Most Outstanding Player Award is called the Jack Dicing Senior Most Outstanding Player of the Year Award, selected by the media in attendance. Of course it is. It's always the media deciding it. But thanks for figuring that out for us. It's good. It hopefully it'll go Auburn. It'll go to an Auburn player. Who knows? Neil says if Fairley was an idiot, I could see him getting in. He's not an idiot, Neil, but he certainly is a character. Now, remember his career was more ended before, and this is a pro career because of his health. But I think certainly when you look at people's college careers, you have to factor the whole sum of it, good and bad. Cam has that in his story, but his rise back to prominence was so strong, it kind of outweighs all of that. Nick's got a little bit of that too, but he has his rough edges, at least had his rough edges, I should say that. Sam, you got to stop driving by things and just come on in. Go to college. Here's the thing that you need to do. I know you're a student, Sam, so I don't know if you've got a girlfriend or you're taking people on dates. Take a trip to Atlanta on a date or something like that and go to the College Football Hall of Fame for you, for her, the aquarium, right across the street from each other. You're going to have a good time at both. Usually you can get some kind of, I think you can like do this ticket thing where you can do 3 things in that area. There's a Coca-Cola museum as well. Love the Coca-Cola museum. Go to the College Football Hall of Fame today, this summer, while you've got time. Neil says, I've been to the College Football Hall of Fame many times. Used to work on that account. Very fun place to go. Neil, when's the last time that you've been there? And have they updated anything significantly, even if it's not Auburn, or if they had is there anything other than new names there? What about the Patrick Nix 94 season undefeated? Yeah, we were talking about since Cam, not in the past. And I don't know that Patrick Nix has a career that would warrant all that. Yeah, you got to find a girl to go with first before we can go on a date to the College Football Hall of Fame, Sam. But listen, just be charming and be an Auburn man, and I'm sure it'll work out for you. That's a good date to go on the College Football Hall of Fame and show them the history that Auburn has there. 5 years ago, I had free passes and took my son. Really nothing new, but still fun. Yeah, I think because it's so extensive, right? And there's more to see there than Auburn, and still there's a lot of Auburn representation there, and you can stop and read something new, experience something new. I think they usually got the film there, the go out in the field experience thing. So check that out. It's from Felix. I watched the Auburn uniform content. That was awesome. Glad you enjoyed it. If you enjoy that type of stuff, go check out some of our other things on our channel. Probably if you just go to Auburn uniforms and search it up on YouTube, you'll get more than our stuff. But Clint really doesn't do anything else that much on YouTube. chances are you'll come up with some of our conversations. Like we did a conversation with him the day that Nike was announced to be the thing that we were going to switch to. We had him last night. We've had him on previously for the face mask. We had him on. We'll definitely have him on later for the crazy uniforms, which is probably some of the things that you'll find on there. Yeah, and then maybe on the actual switchover day today or this month. Kim says, "Hey, I'm a girl. I would rather go to the College Football Hall of Fame over the aquarium. I'm a sports fanatic." Well, yes, I was making generalizations there, Kim, but I think you can probably find value in both things for everybody. And the reality is, who doesn't love a good aquarium? Like, come on, it's. I mean, maybe it's just me because I have a zoology degree from Auburn, but either way, you got to go to the College Football Hall of Fame. All right, Corey. Michael Dyer may not have been down. Still, some Oregon fans don't accept that, but I don't know that he's going to make it into the College Football Hall of Fame. Let's see here. When I worked on the client for College Football Hall of Fame, I was there every week before they opened, got to see everything. They let me give input on a few exhibits. I made sure Auburn was highlighted. Well, we appreciate your service in that, sir. Yeah, I would, this isn't turning into the Come to Atlanta show, even though I don't live necessarily in Atlanta, just near it. But apparently I'm promoting Atlanta. Maybe I should get a sponsorship with them or something like that. I don't know. Have we been born before? What? I don't know what's going on there. So no orange uniforms, right? Yeah, Felix, if you watch the end of that, I did ask Clint his on record opinion about orange uniforms in the near future. And that near is relative to you, but I think about it in 2-year swaths because that's usually about 2 to 3 years what it takes to rotate through some things based off what Clint has learned. So I will say no, based off what Clint said. And I'm very thankful, no orange jerseys. I'm sorry. I hate the concept of it. And I know that wreaks havoc with a lot of you that love those things. Orange jerseys do not look good for Auburn. We just need our navy blues and our white stormtrooper look. We can change the face mask up, as some of y'all have said in the chat, but it is perfect. Absolute perfect. There's like a meme for that. Perfect. Nothing changed, nothing. Let's see here. Okay, Sam. So you said, have we been Nike, not born? I don't know how that typoed you before, or is this the first time? This would be the first time, to my knowledge. Clint probably would have already said like returns to Nike or something if that was the case. Man, all the typos happening here. Let's hope we don't get a green uniform again. Yeah, let's not do that. WT says Auburn football jerseys need to be blue and white, no other colors. Now, but they've got the orange stripe on them. And I'm fine with that as an accent or whatever, but nothing else. Nothing else. Auburn football really needs to be turned around. It's sad to try to figure out who is good enough to get in the College Football Hall of Fame since Cam was 15 years ago. Yeah, listen, not to get down that rabbit hole again, but that's what happens when you make transitions that you don't need to make in specific years. You take yourself down a hole much further than you already might have been in. I don't necessarily agree that we were in a hole, but you lose momentum. And to think about the timing of what was coming down the pipe with NIL and stuff, while we had a lack of leadership, that really set us behind. Orange face mask. Sam asked, what do you think about the different helmets? Are you asking about the face mask, Sam? Because if you've missed my commentary on that, and definitely for face mask, I'm okay with the changes. I really like the white face mask. I don't like the orange face mask. Somebody said it earlier. Right here. Where did it go? Orange face mask are better than white face mask. That is incorrect. That is false. That is a lie. from the pit of Hades. It's coming from WT. Blue helmet, orange face mask. No. White helmets. I guess so. Let me ask you guys this in the chat. Other than you just like the look of it and you think it looks cool, what value does changing the uniforms bring to the program? I'm genuinely asking, like, because I don't think it can just be because fans want it. And I say fans loosely because it's only a sect of fans. So what value comes from changing the uniforms? I agree, Neil. I don't think how about this? I don't agree that there's nothing of value, but I think there's nothing that we can quantifiably point to and say, hey, we did this, and because of this, X happened to better the program. And I don't think that you can even point that to Oregon, who's probably got the best case for that, being so attached to Nike. I could be wrong. Seems like some of you agree. Nothing, like Neil said. I just don't see the value of it. Corey says, I think Oregon's uniforms are trash. They're too flashy. And I think they go to the extreme with it. But, and please hear me, if you are a fan of change on this, we're not trying to dog you for that opinion here, those that agree with me. I just don't see the value in it other than, well, that was cool. We did the thing. Sorry to ruin the fun, but it's kind of how I feel about it personally. Mason thinks that the uniforms are fire. I think they're on fire with too much. And I agree, it is a very gimmicky thing as well. Auburn does not need those things. It's just a little bit too overboard. All right, Mason. I think Mason, are you new here, Mason, or do you come from Twitter or X? I know you're on YouTube, but I don't remember. Maybe you just haven't been here for a while, but getting to know some new people here. If you know anything about me, Mason, I do not think about these things, nor should you really, until we even get to this season. And even then, I think we obsess about these things too much. There's no way of knowing. There's truly no way of knowing. If you were a team that had been in a position like Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, Michigan, I'm not in Michigan right now, but just teams that consistently were making it, then you can go, yeah, we probably can think about those things. But right now we need to focus on becoming a more stable winning program and let the chips fall where they may. Kyle, look at that beautiful AU helmet on your shelf. It's a classic. Is it show and tell time? Show and tell, show and tell, show and tell at lunch. Once again, I know that's not the quote from The Office, folks, but if you know the quote, you're my best friend. So here we are again with show and tell time. That's Tommy Tuberville on there, by the way. Yes. What do you need to change about this beautiful thing? I get it. The face mask is fine. I'll give you the face mask change. I agree. The white look on this thing is good. That is fine. Orange, trash. Blue or black, fine. But that is it. That's all I'm giving you guys. No more. I'm ruining your fun. This thing is perfect. Perfect. Perfect the way it is. Show and tell. Show and tell at lunch. So there you go. Let's see here. You're from Twitter? Well, welcome. Thanks for coming over from Twitter, Mason. We appreciate having you here. Let's see here. Are you playing football or are you walking the runway for a fashion show? What? Sam says, I like to buy and collect jerseys and one-offs. City Edition NBA are cool to own and wear. WT wants me to, I guarantee there will be a college football playoff this year. Well, I don't think that's what he was asking, but I think you're just being funny. The blue face mask shows a nice contrast to the white helmet. And I would say thing for a black face mask as well, which we've done before too. The white certainly doesn't contrast, but when you compare that with the all white uniform, the white socks, the white shoes, oh man, it's just so good. So good. So good. So good. What about baseball? Maybe winning the Super Regional. So I've at least given somewhat of a prediction. I'm just not a big prediction guy, but on the podcast this week, we did kind of give y'all a little bit of that for those of you that obsess about predictions. So I predicted that Coastal Carolina would win the first game, and then Auburn would have to win out the Saturday and then Sunday to win the Super Regional and go to the College World Series. I think Coastal Carolina is going to come in fired up, ready to go, and ready to make their statement. And I think Auburn will lock it down and see that their opportunity is about to be ripped for them and really have a strong day 2 and 3. A green face mask? Ugh. Absolutely not. Just to make Kyle mad, AU will trounce out one day this year with a tricolor face mask. Lord help me. Probably like combust into just all the different ways that you can combust in one night. Oh, wow. It's already 9:50, y'all. Okay. A couple things, and then we'll do some normal things we do here. WT says, I'm seriously hoping that Nike fixes that stripe on the side of the football pants. I feel like we need to take you to therapy, my friend, because ever since Clint has made you see that on the side of the football pants, you have not been able to. It's like I feel like you're waking up in a cold sweat every time you remember that is there and that he's now entrenched that into your mind. It's a complex for him. I think Auburn will sweep them, just my opinion. I hope you're right. But we're blaming you if they don't. Kyle, why is Bruce Pearl's name being touted for to run for Senate? Neil, I have my take on this, but can you guess what my take is going to be? You've been here long enough to know my take on stories like this. And what do you think I'm going to say to this? Because if you're asking, I know you haven't heard me say this yet. I think I talked about this on Everett Podcast, which is if you don't know yet, I've been trying this out a work week daily. So 4 to 5 times a week, barring holidays, 10-minute podcast where I kind of catch you up on news and topics that are prevalent in the Auburn space. And I think we talked about it. We didn't get to talk about it in full last episode. So maybe you haven't heard it in that way, but what do you think my opinion on that is going to be? Your take is the media is idiotic and needs to shut up. Close. I say that knowing that I'm part of the media technically, and I also am idiotic and need to shut up. Let me just say this. I think you always need to ask when you see a story, doesn't matter if it's sports, anything, what is the context of why this story is either maybe true, being pushed, whatever right now. The context is of what just happened. Tommy Tuberville announced he's running for governor, connections to Auburn, all that stuff. Yada, yada, yada. Don't like him, whatever. I'm all for Tommy, whatever. Not our bag here today. But with that, there's a lot of conversation, Auburn, politics. Who else in the Auburn space has been involved in the political conversation that could make sense that if we just said somebody told us that Bruce Pearl might be considering that, when Bruce Pearl maybe not even could have hinted at anything close to that. But we can say whatever we want, right? Now, I am not saying that Bruce Pearl doesn't have some aspirations for political office someday, and it may be very soon. I don't know, and I don't care. It means nothing to me. This is summer, and people need clicks and views. That is all. That is my opinion of this right now, and that is where it's going to stay, unfortunately. So that's kind of, you were close to what I was thinking about it. Are we going to have Nike Uni try? Mason, try one more time. I'm not sure what you're asking there. We are having Nike, but I'm not sure what else you're asking there. Devin says we, I got here. Let me back up. Okay. We're going to come back to your comments and stuff here. Y'all keep them coming. We'll have to rapid fire here in a second, but let me do this part of the show. Y'all know I have to tell you things. By the way, last few minutes here, give it a try over here, Kyle. The call-in link. I'm going to learn which way to point one day. The call-in link is over there in the chat. If you'd like to access it on YouTube, it should be available on that last call here. Give it a try. You don't have to be on camera. You can be off camera. We'd love to hear some new voices here today, even just to say hello and get used to utilizing it. Next thing's coming up for you. We will have, as far as we know, a Auburn Experience podcast episode 128 recording at our normal time on Sunday. However, just like I told you last week, it is beholden to the tournament. So if Auburn's wrapped up by that time, we will probably do it at 9 Eastern time. If it makes more sense for us to do it earlier in the day, the next day, that'll happen too. So that's why it's not up and ready just yet, but that's our next scheduled piece of content. We are having our daily, somewhat daily, I'll call it somewhat regular, Ever to Podcast audio series on our podcast app. If you want to, on any podcast app, if you want to download that with the main podcast too. And daily TikTok streams. And you can follow us anywhere on social media to keep up, especially with us heading to Auburn again this weekend. So join us if you can. Let's see here. I wish we would sweep games 1 and 2, but I know it won't be that easy. I want that UNC Auburn matchup in Omaha. That game would be electric. The teams are so similar. Now, are you saying that would be the matchup? Or are you saying you're just hoping that happens? Because I believe they reseed everybody once they get there. Or maybe not reseed, but switch things around. I could be wrong, but I think that's how it happens. Let's see here. When they're on TV, it focuses the attention there. So Clint mentioned that. I never noticed it before. Oh, about your connection with that. Okay. I'm having to roll through here these pretty quickly. Sam with a different political take. If Bruce Pearl runs for the Senate, I'm voting for whoever he runs against, so he stays at Auburn. The problem is that you're not thinking through that, Sam. He'll have to have vacated that role, and thus Auburn will have to fill it. And yes, as great as Bruce Pearl is, they're not going to stop in the middle unless it's understood like his son's going to take over for the time he's running or stuff like that. So I like where your head's at, but the practicality is just not there. Kay Ivey also went to Auburn. Yes. Yep. So it's been cool seeing her because you remember the governor comes and presents like homecoming every year. So that's cool to see an Auburn lady presenting that to the Auburn homecoming queen every year. Do you think Gus will run for Senate? No. Gus doesn't say enough to run for Senate as much as I love him. Mason, yes, we're going to have Nike uniforms this year. We officially will no longer be with Under Armour in 26 days? 26 days. No, 26 days. Yes. July 1st. It is official, Mason. Thank you, WT, for the reminder there. You're just wanting the UNC matchup. I got you. Got you there. What? Neil. I'll bring that in here. All right. Final questions. Comments. Derogatory rebuttals that are productive. Other than booger picker, whatever. Only on this show will grown men comment and laugh at the term booger picker. My gosh. What is this show? Anyway, any final comments, questions, topics? Get them in now. We got a few minutes left together with you. We'll close down the call-in tab there, but we do want to make sure you get an opportunity to get your last opportunity to say something here. Reminders, Barner Supply, down there. Check them out. Our link, or go to barnersupply.com. We hope that you'll go through our affiliate link, which is in the description. If you need that personally, let me know. I can send it to you. But if you use the code E2C, you can get $5 off. Not this hat, but this logo and their new logo, the classic barn look. Go check that out. It is good stuff there, and you support another great Auburn company. That's some live math. Look, I'm not that good at math, but every once in a while, that Auburn education slips in, and I'm able to manage that. Hopefully that was correct math, and I'm not wrong on that. Yes, the host does not like derogatory rebuttals that include St. Gus. Yes, that is, of course, the truth there, because he is St. Gus, and anyone who speaks out against him is the spawn of the Nephilim and the spawn of Satan. And I say the love that I can. And this one, did I forget to carry the one? It's probably likely. It's probably likely, Neil. I never attest We even released our What You Missed reel from like 2 shows ago, and I talked about doing live math. It was, you forgot to carry the 2. That's a tough way to go. If you're going to critique my math, you better get the typing right on there, sir. All right, guys, it has been a fun one as well. I always enjoy doing the show with you. So continue to come back and invite a friend. Let's help. Let's continue to grow this little Auburn family night, and I need your help to do that. So share it out. Hit the follow button if you're not doing that already. That's funny, Neil. But we appreciate you being here and spending some time being our little family, a part of our little family within the Auburn family, and having some fun talking about the Auburn experience. With that in mind, I say good night to you. Thank you so much. And until we talk to you again, War Eagle.